Hey everyone, Dr. Rowe coming to you from SpineCare in St. Joseph, Michigan. In this video, we're going to go over some really good exercises to fight age-related muscle loss in the legs, also known as sarcopenia. As we age, it is extremely important to do something every single day to strengthen and maintain the muscles in our legs, and these exercises will help by targeting the main muscles. So just a couple quick notes. If you're able to, try to do all the exercises in this video in one sitting. It's a really good workout that you can do 2 to 3 times a week. But if it feels like it's a little bit too challenging, just pick 1, maybe 2 exercises to do every single day, and with each day, do a different exercise. You're probably going to notice too that some of these exercises are a little bit more challenging, and if that's the case, focus on them a little bit more to help strengthen your weak links. With that being said, let's get started. So if you're only able to do one exercise, this is about as easy as it gets. It's called the wall sit, and all we're going to need is a smooth wall or a door. So let's break this one down. You're going to put your feet out in front of you. That way you can lean your body weight into the wall for support. It just helps keep your back nice and straight. We also want our feet a little bit wider than our hips, and point your toes out slightly, about 5 to 10 degrees. It'll help take tension off your knees. From here, pretty straightforward. We're just going to act like we're sitting downward, squatting downward, taking our butt towards the floor. The further that you go down, the more that you're going to feel a deep activation of the muscles throughout your legs, including your quadriceps, but you should also feel it in your glutes or your buttocks. Challenge yourself to go down as far as you can, but not to the point of any pain or discomfort. If you start to feel any pain in your knees, just back off slightly. You want to hold this for about 3 to 5 seconds, but if you're able to hold it for longer, it will be a lot more challenging. And when you need to come back up, what you want to focus on doing is a quick driving through your legs, lifting your body up like this. It just helps engage them a little bit more. From there, take a breather, take as long as you need, but the quicker that you do this, the more it's going to help stimulate the cardiovascular system and strengthen your heart. So try to be pretty speedy with this one. But do this about 10 to 15 times. Afterwards, take a break. See how you feel. If it feels like you have some more energy, try to do this for 3 to 5 sets. The thing is, over time, you'll probably notice that you're able to really squat down into it. Even after 3 sets, it feels like it's not really that much of a workout. So at that point, what I would focus on doing is stepping away from the wall and taking it to the next level. So what I'm going to do is pretty much get back into my original position, but this time around I'm going to take my hands, put them into a prayer position, and then just press them right into my chest. It helps keep the back nice and straight. So from here, what I'm going to do is now mimic that squatting motion. So I'm just going to squat down like this, but go down as far as you can. Lift back up. Try to do this for 10 to 15 times for 3 to 5 sets, and with each repetition, just build into it a little bit more. So a really good alternative to the wall sit is by doing what is called the stand to sit squat. It's a little bit more challenging, so give this one a try also. What you're going to need is a sturdy chair, one that will support your body weight, and you want one that doesn't have wheels, and just place it pretty close to a countertop. What you're going to do is scoot towards the edge of that chair and have very good upright posture. Try to keep your back as straight as possible with this one. You can take your hands and put them on the countertop for support, especially if you have balance issues. So let's try to get our legs, our feet a little bit wider than our hips, point our toes out slightly, and then when we do this, we're going to place all of our body weight onto our heels and then drive our body weight upward using our legs and our butt. So let's just lean forward like this and then just drive upward so we're standing. Once we're standing, we're now going to slowly go in reverse, squat by bending our knees and taking our butt back towards the chair. But do that slowly, because the slower that you go down, the more it's going to force your leg muscles to have to work. I like to do this going up and down nice and slowly for 10 to 15 repetitions, but if it feels like you have a little bit more energy, challenge yourself by throwing in another set or 2. To make it harder though, take your hands off the countertop. You can do a prayer position like we did earlier, or you can just put your hands on your hips. Without that support, it's going to force your body to do a lot more work. So progress into it when you are ready. Since we're already in this position, let's focus a little bit more below the knees, especially over the calf muscles, and do some really good calf raises. So for this one, let's stand right in front of the countertop, and what you want to do is have your feet roughly hip width apart on this one. You're going to place all of your body weight onto the balls of your feet, and then you're going to slowly drive your heels upward like this. The further that you drive your heels upward, the more that you're going to feel a really good activation into your calf muscles. Focus on feeling that and then holding that for a couple seconds, and then what you're going to do is now slowly lower your heels downward towards the floor. So we're going to resist going up, but also down to target the muscles a little bit differently. I like to do this about 15 times in both directions, but again, if it feels like you have a little bit more energy, challenge yourself by throwing in another set or two. So to take a calf raise to the next level, you can do what is called an eccentric calf raiser. It's pretty similar, but instead of going straight up like this, what you want to do is lean your body a little bit towards one side. So go a little bit more towards the right. You're going to notice it hits the muscles a little bit differently. When you go all the way up, then tilt a little bit towards the left, almost like doing a big circle. So go up slowly, go towards the other side, come back down. I like to do this in one direction about 10 times and then switch it up in the opposite direction and then repeat. If you do notice any of these positions like tilting towards the left, it just feels like it's a little bit more weak. At that point, treat it like your weak link and build into that movement over and over again until it feels like you got a really good workout. So here's an exercise that you can do in bed or on a floor. Just lie flat on your back like this. This is known as the bridge circuit, and it's a really good way to strengthen the core muscles, the back, and more importantly, our legs. It's kind of like an all-for-one. What you want to do is have your legs roughly hip width apart, knees bent, feet flat. Let's start off by lightly bracing our core muscles. It's kind of like when somebody pokes you in your stomach, how you tense up and draw your belly button towards your spine. Mimic that and just lightly hold it during the exercise. It will help protect your back. From here, I like to lightly squeeze my glutes or my buttocks too to make sure that we target those muscles. So once we've done that, just take your hands, put them off to your side. You're going to slowly lift your hips upward towards the ceiling until your body is roughly in a straight line from your knees to your hips to your shoulders. If you're unable to get into this position because of pain or weakness, like you can only go up an inch or two, do the best you can. Hopefully over time you'll gain strength and flexibility to get into this position. You're going to feel a lot of muscles start to fire across the core, your back, your butt, your legs. Let's try to hold this one for about 5 seconds, release it, take a breather, and then repeat this 10 to 15 times. And with each repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more. From there, relax. See how much energy you have left. If it feels like you have some left in the tank, just try to throw in another set or two. But let's take this one to the next level and focus on some more movements that will hopefully help strengthen some more muscles across our legs. The first movement that I like to do is what is called the clamshell bridge, and this one is really going to help target the muscles around the hips, including the glutes. So let's take our feet, press them together, and then just gently press our heels downward into the bed or the floor until you feel those muscles start to tighten up around our hips. From here, what we want to do is take our knees and press them down towards the floor as much as we can until we feel a really good activation of the muscles on the inner part of our thighs, working towards the groin, towards the hips. Once we feel that, we're now going to just lightly brace our core, try to squeeze our glutes a little bit more, and then lift our hips upward into that bridge position. But again, this time around, I usually always feel it right here on the outside of my hips, but sometimes I will feel it a little bit more towards the groin. It just matters where you might have a little bit more tightness, but just try to drive up as much as you can. Hold this for about 3 to 5 seconds, release it, and then on the next repetition, try to build into it a little bit more for 10 to 15 times. But again, if it feels like you have some more energy, challenge yourself by throwing in another set or two. So the last movement is definitely going to be the most challenging, at least for me, and this one is called the hamstring walkout. It's going to target the muscles on the back of our thighs, the hamstring muscle group. So for this one, let's get back into our original position of having our legs roughly hip width apart, knees bent, feet flat. Let's lightly brace the core muscles. Let's squeeze those glutes. But this time around, we're going to go back into our bridge, but slowly walk out with our heels like this. As you do this, you're going to feel those muscles on the back of the leg really start to fire. So just walk out about 5 times. Doing this is as many steps as you like. Obviously, the more steps you do, the harder it will be. But take a breather afterwards and try to throw in a couple more repetitions. If any of these movements also feel really weak, at that point, treat it like your weak link and try to throw some more repetitions in until everything feels like it got a really good workout. This exercise is going to focus a little bit more across our hips. So if it feels like you always have stiff hips due to arthritis, or they just feel weak in general, give this one a try. It's called the clamshell. So what I'm going to do is start lying on my side in bed or on a floor. And I always like to start with the most stiff or painful side upward towards the ceiling. And you probably noticed that I have this green resistance band across my legs. This right here will help take it to the next level because more resistance means that you're going to strengthen those muscles a little bit more. If you would like a very inexpensive set that you can get online, I'll leave a link in this video's comments section and description. Great investment. So what I'm going to do is have my knees bent at 90 degrees and I just bring my knees slightly forward from my body. At this point, I'm going to press my heels together and then slowly take this top knee and just wing it upward towards the ceiling. As you go up, you're going to feel a deep activation of the muscles around your hip, but also a little bit more towards the groin and the inner part of your thigh. If you have the resistance band, you're really going to feel it. So just try to build into that as much as you can. Hold this comfortably for a second or two, and then what you're going to do is slowly come back down, but resist against the band or your leg weight. I like to do this nice and slowly for 10 to 15 repetitions. With each repetition, I just keep building into it a little bit more. Afterwards, see how you feel. If it feels like you have a little bit more energy, challenge yourself by throwing in another set or two. Just remember though, whatever you do on one side, always flip over to the other side and repeat to keep everything in balance. If this feels like it's a little bit too easy, what you can do is just add in another resistance band or get a stronger one, or you can do what I call the scissors. So this one's a little bit harder than the clamshell. You just put your legs straight together like this, have your body in a straight line, and just like opening a scissor, what you're going to do is just slowly raise your foot upward towards the ceiling. This time around, you're going to feel the muscles around the hip get hit a little bit differently, but give that one a try. Hold this for a couple seconds, come back down like this, and then repeat this 10 to 15 times for 3 to 5 sets. If the exercises help, please support the channel by giving this video a like and maybe subscribing too. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.